Are we live here? Let's give this a minute to sync up. There we are. There's everybody. There are the users. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where you're joining us from, and welcome to another episode of the AI Circle brought to you by the iFlip YouTube channel. I am your host, of course, Aaron Yoon, and joining me today, we actually have a couple of guests, right? Normally it's just Kelly, but we have a special guest of honor, our very own CEO, Randy Tate. Thank you for joining us today, Randy, and of course, Kelly.
Thanks, Aaron, for letting me jump on here.
Absolutely. So everybody, we actually asked Randy to jump on today because you may or may not have noticed that the app has received especially if you're an Apple user. Android users may not have seen this yet, but if you're an Apple user, you may have seen that a new update dropped on the App Store today. The web app has also been updated, and I don't know if you noticed that. If you didn't, you should probably clear your cache to see what's changed. Mostly performance and speed. So and we asked Randy to come join us today to bring everybody up to speed on all the stuff that we've been saying that we're working on finally launched today. And we actually have, and that's not all. We actually have a bunch of new cool things coming up for you in the future. So I'm going to pass the floor over to Randy here and tell us what have we been working on? What can people expect when they log into their apps if they haven't been active recently? And what do we have in store in the future? Randy, take it away.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate you having me here. So a couple of things. Let me just back up a few months. You know, as we were going to the next version of our app, of our web-based version, many people don't understand that our web version was written in a little different code than our mobile version. Well, we've been operating them simultaneously over the years. It became really clear about 8 weeks ago when we had a big release on the web and it broke something in the mobile. We weren't 100% sure what. The development team went back, they jumped on it, they did their homework, and they came back and said, hey, look, guys, for us to get that up to speed to catch up with the web is going to be just about the same size of lift as it's going to be to rewrite the mobile in the same code that the web's written in. So we have one solid code base. It's funny how I can't do that.
And yeah, you want to lean in a little bit.
Yeah, got it. It was bugging me. And so we obviously made the decision at that point to say, hey, look, let's just get it all in the same code base. Let's get it all upgraded. And at the same time, we had to upgrade and do a bunch of work on the server side. So this was a massive lift in code writing, and our development team has worked 7 days a week for like 8-9 weeks now to get this to where it is. We finally were able to release it today, and I can tell you, using it all day myself, the thing is screaming fast. If you haven't logged into your web version on your laptop, go do it. Give it a try. Play around with it. It's literally, there's no more spinning circles, which, believe me, drives me more crazy than it drives any of you. And so I just want to let everybody know that the body of lift was significant, and the product now is much, much better. It's more solid. It's the next generation of what we're doing. We upgraded our the .NET on the back end. Everything's up and running now. That said, we're going to be making releases and upgrades almost every week now, probably for the next 5 or 6 weeks, as we're adding more features and functionality to a lot of the tools that are already in there. It's just getting cooler and cooler and cooler. So what you can expect over the next couple of weeks, I would encourage you to clear your cache once a week, because sometimes it doesn't automatically update, doesn't automatically bring you to the new version, and you'll be stuck on an old version and you'll be like, why is this not working good? And Randy said it was going to be fast. This isn't fast. Well, clear your cache and you're going to see lightning speed. Awesome. Great job, development team. Give them a shout out if you know any of them. So that's number one. Number two, we've partnered with a company called Start Engine. It's many of you may have heard of them. They're a $1.5 million investor community that invests in early stage companies like ourselves. And our personal database, the people that know us, all of you, are going to be put in the queue ahead of everybody else to have a unique opportunity. You'll be able to, you'll be presented with the opportunity to own an actual equity piece in iFlip. Now, can't tell you when it's going to be released, but it's imminent over sometime this month or early August, maybe at the latest. But you're going to get an opportunity where for as little as $500, you'll be able to own a piece of iFlip. Now, there's going to be some bonuses. You know how Aaron is with the big bonuses, always giving away stuff on the call with trivia. You're also going to be able to act because you're going to get first shot at it. You're going to be offered it first. You're going to be able to get a bunch of bonuses. You're going to see all kinds of cool things. So that's about all I'm allowed to say. Compliance is relentless on me. I've actually got a checklist of don't say this, do say that, don't say this, do say that. But I've told you everything I can tell you. It's imminent. We are extremely excited about it. I mean, like off the world excited about it because I've had a lot of people want to invest in the company, not just use the tool, but invest in us. And because we've had a very strict accredited investor only, bigger dollars only ability to get into it, this is going to provide more along the theme of how we came to be, the average person the opportunity to participate in things much bigger. Now, if you're already an investor in the company and you're on this call, of course you could invest more, and we'll talk more in detail about that on an investor call later. But for now, for the rest of you, think of it as an opportunity to get in and be part of something that we're doing. More details to come, Aaron. Can't give away all the farm, but I asked permission to come share it today on the call. I got permission from the compliance team. They said, yeah, you can do it. Just only say these little things. So that's all I've said. So when they watch the recording, I won't get in trouble. But yeah, Aaron, that's it. I wanted to take 5 minutes. I think I took 7. But Kelly and I are pretty ecstatic about this opportunity for everybody, and looking forward to having a bunch of new people on our platform with us. So that's it. I'm out.
That's okay. If you want, I'll give you 8 or even 9 minutes if you really need it. No, I'll stay here for just a sec, and then we'll get into the market updates. Are we allowed to, Randy? I don't know if this is on your list there. Are we allowed to offer them the opportunity to opt in for that insider that group 1 insider group, or are we not?
If they're on our email list currently, which I'm assuming everybody on this call is, then they're already on the opt. I've already opted them in. So okay. The way it worked for the first chunk of it, I have to give the list to Start Engine.
Got it.
If you're on our list, you're on the list I gave them.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you have any questions about this, is really cool stuff, everybody. This is very much in alignment, as Randy was saying, with our mission to give Wall Street level tools and access and technology to Main Street. And crowdfunding, thanks to the internet, has been one of those big things and we now have our way of presenting that to you, our style, our ability, and our partnership to deliver all of that to you. Kelly, do you have anything you want to add about any comments on what's coming, the app and the Start Engine thing?
Well, on the app, obviously, I'm very excited about the fact that the speed of the app is right now on par with any kind of a product similar to ours in the market, which is extremely important to me. The other parts of the app that people use generally are pretty much have always been there, but this particular update solved so many issues that frustrated so many customers that are frequent users of our product. It doesn't affect our returns or their ownership of stocks or their ownership of cash. It doesn't affect things like that, but the speed of any kind of a product we use on the internet through our mobile app or the computer is critical for people to have a good experience. And if something is slow, you don't like it, you move away from it. Something is fast, you're more likely to use things, and especially our product. It needs to be fast, and we have definitely covered that. The response times to bringing up quotes now is pretty much instantaneously. So that is so important, especially to me who watches the markets, frankly, way more than he should.
Okay. And yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you there.
I will comment one further thing on the start engine, Aaron, because you asked me about that too. The start engine thing is very nice. It does give everybody an opportunity, if they wish, that sees me on a biweekly basis, to be able to own a small piece of flip if they desire. It's going to be very easy for them to do. And it's also a way for people to understand who we are, what we do, and what the long-term value of the flip product is. I think the users on our platform kind of understand the long-term value, especially as we get older. But right now, what Start Engine does is it kind of gets a message out there in a much broader way. And that's really why we're excited about it.
Absolutely. And the only final comments that I'll add here, and then we'll let Randy go, is if you have any questions about this, please just email. You can enter it in the chat here if you like. Leave a comment if you're watching the replay, or of course, just reach out to mailbag@iFlipInvest.com and for any questions regarding this kind of stuff. It's a major kind of like news update bombshell that we're dropping right now. So we can understand if you have tons of questions and you want to engage with us. The one thing I'll say about the app release is that all that heavy lifting wasn't just to make things faster. It was also to clear the runway for us to make releases faster and more rapidly from now on. So it wasn't just this one thing. So we've cleared the runway and now we can speed through it. So if you have any questions or feedback or comments, also send those things to mailbag@iFlipInvest.com. We have never been more ready to take on your requests, your feedback, and actually deliver them into the app. Like, it's like a really exciting time for us. That's the only thing I'll say about the app. And the Start Engine thing, just stay tuned. I think that it's a really, we've used this platform as kind of an education platform to learn more about more than just AI and stocks. And investing in a crowdfunding format might be a learning opportunity that a lot of you are could learn something from. So it's a really it's a cheaper way to learn than going to like school and learning about it and stuff like that. You get to actually actively learn about it, right? So it's the invitation is there, if nothing else, as a learning opportunity. So hopefully we get to see a lot of engagement from you all there. Randy, any last thoughts before we sign off here? Okay, cool. So everyone say bye to Randy.
Bye, Randy.
He's signing off now.
Goodbye, Randy.
Sorry, Randy, you're off the screen now.
Right.
Okay, so of course, before we get to any of the market updates, we have to do everyone's favorite part of the AI circle here that I need to load up to read it myself. Let me get this up here. The disclosure. So please bear with me as we go through the disclosure here. Disclaimer: iFlip Investor and iFlip Investor Incorporated and iFlip Financial Services are not financial advisors and do not make, buy, sell, or hold recommendations on any financial instrument. This presentation is for educational purposes only. Unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. All financial investments involve risk. You should speak with your CPA or financial representative to ensure that the iFlip's portfolios that you select are suitable for your investment profile before trading in a live brokerage account. Now, with that out of the way, Kelly, let's get back to what we are regularly scheduled programming. And please catch us up. It almost, oh, shoot. Let me see here. Let me get this screens correct. Sorry.
Right. Can everybody see my screen here, the markets? Hopefully you can. And I'll get going here because we have a little bit less time for our 4 o'clock start. So I'm going to kind of run through the markets right now with everybody. If you didn't catch it this morning, the CPI came out, and the CPI number showed a large drop from inflation from around 5% year over year down to 3% year over year. And so what everybody has to understand is that 1 year ago, at the end of June of last year, inflation is now only 3% from the end of June of last year. What does that mean? This report came out very dovish, and the market opened up very strong in the morning, especially the NASDAQ. However, of course, by the end of the day, the market still showed good gains, but it had given away a great deal of them by day end. Why is that? So right here, you have a picture of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which most of us always look at or understand where the market is because of this index. It is widely displayed. We all know it. Today, as you can see this, if you can see well, this last bar on the chart showed that the market essentially closed on its lows after a much higher opening. Actually made a marginal new high today in the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ, but then came off of these levels throughout the day. What is going on is this, something else with inflation cooling. That's why I was jumping around the screen. What it really happened today is this, that the dollar got murdered. It went way down today. And by the way, it's down over 3.5% literally from a week ago. That's a very large move. It's called 3.5%, works out to be 4 figures. A figure is every 1%. And so we're over 3%, so it's called 4 figures. That is a large move in the dollar. And of course, because of the dollar weakening, you can see what's going on. I'm on my way to Europe in early August, and I'm going to be paying a lot more to eat bad food in the UK and maybe better food in Paris. But at the end of the day, I don't want to pay more for my food. I'd like to pay less. And the prices, my dollar is not going to be buying me as much. Other significant things I think that occurred today, other than the dollar, which is what scared people off and why they started to sell stocks towards the end of the day, is this. Take a look at what happened to the bond market. This here, I think this is the 30-year T-bond futures. They had a very large 2.5-point rally today. What's happened today, if we look at the 10-year note, which is this one here, the ZN, the 10-year note just a few days ago was trading at around 4%. From a price that basically has stood firm for a while, which was 3.75%. The market moved up to 4% because we started to realize that the Fed was going to hike interest rates further. But today the report came out showing a milder inflation, which I have questions about, showing and saying, the Fed may not have to cut as much. So guess what? They literally bought the bonds, lowering the interest rates throughout the day, back close to the levels they had been trading for, really, for the last month and a half or so, right in this area, which is 4.75 interest rate on the 10-year note. Sorry, 3.75 on the 10-year note. So what does that mean? Basically, we're seeing that interest rates are stable. This report went a long way to kind of to allaying the fears of a lot of investors of mitigating inflation. They felt now maybe it is mitigating, maybe the Fed is doing their job properly. I think the jury is still out. Keep in mind this. By June of last year, and the measurement is now 3% year over year, by June of last year, a lot of the inflation already had been embedded. So it's only increased from 3% from June of last year. But the first 6 months of last year, of 2022, going to June, saw huge increases of around 8%. It doesn't mean that things have mitigated back to 3. It means that we have now embedded higher prices. That is what I feel that the market started to understand as the day wore on. Not only because interest rates could go lower and the dollar is going to weaken as a result of that, but also, by the way, making huge new changes in interest rates or in the dollar, but also the fact that maybe we can mitigate a soft landing. Soft landing, we haven't heard that in a while, but guess what? The Fed is trying to do it. My thinking is it's not going to quite work out the way they expect as the third quarter wears on, but we'll see. That being said, I think it's really noteworthy to see that a lot of other markets really moved today. Gold was up, silver was up $1 on the day, it looks like, which is a huge move. And I see these kind of moves across the board on precious metals. Also, keep this in mind. I think it's important to have a global macro idea of what's going on. Crude oil is now close to $76 a barrel. It was hovering around 70. That's a significant increase as well. And that, of course, is an inflationary sign. We consider these volatile prices of commodities, but I don't quite buy certain things yet. So that being said, market higher, but off its highs. Dollar significantly weaker, especially over the last week, as if they really knew what their inflation report was going to be. Gold prices higher. All precious metal prices are higher. Interest rates are lower as at the end of the day. So we have this kind of interesting climate as to what happens going forward. One of the things that will be coming out very shortly is we will at some point release very shortly, to be redundant, on our website, some of the performances of the various portfolios. I did precursory studies. I see that the balanced portfolio was up around 23.5% or so through the first half of the year because of price appreciation and dividends. The conservative portfolio was up a more mild ascent around the same lines as the S&P 500. The red oil, of course, did extremely well because of our large holdings inside of All Plains American and Energy Transfer. Some of our other portfolios remained uninvested, which, of course, have underperformed the market this year. But the dividend capturing products of balanced and conservative really outperformed this year in beating the S&P on large margins in the case of the balanced portfolio. We will be offering a few more things going forward over the next couple of months now that the software has been updated and sped up significantly, where you'll see some of these performance numbers start to, I think, come into line with our expectations as the company reassesses, not the company, our software reassesses the investment profiles of its individual smartfolios. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that comes, because even I don't know what the math is going to tell me. I suspect, but I don't know for sure. I think a couple of things that are really standing out to me that I want to point out as well. Let me go to a couple of stocks that I really pay attention to, and you've heard me mention before. Let's look at Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab today made another new high after really being pummeled during the banking crisis of earlier this year, And it came from this area of around $78 a share before it pummeled and went down below 50. It sits now at 58. I feel that Charles Schwab is a stock that very likely that the banking crisis, I think, is pretty much behind us, as much as people are worried that something in the future will get us. But again, I think I've answered this before. At the end of the day, the government will bail them out. They bailed out the Silicon Valley and Signature already, and First Republic. They will bail out other banks if they should default because of some rupture in the system in the months coming forward. But Charles Schwab ultimately, at many levels, is just a bank. I feel this stock is probably the most likely to have success in the remaining half of the year. And I suspect that good old Chuck, might be up another 15% by the end of the year. So I am in this stock and this is, I'm opining, but I feel this stock can return to at least $70 a share by year end. And we have a formation that looks positive to do that. These are what they call creepers, and creepers turn into leapers. And so if that's the case, I like Charles Schwab. Another one I like, and I've always liked, is this stock. This is a big part of our red oil. This is a stock that where I will only give myself a marginal amount of credit here. This was something that was alerted to me by a value proposition from our value algorithm, and I'm now starting to see it take hold. It was another creeper, and it has now become a leaper. This is a stock that is paying a dividend at the price of about 26 cents a share. Think of it, 26 cents a share at the price of $14.70. It works out to be about 8%+, around 8%. And look what it's doing in price appreciation for the year. Now, this is one of the things that red oil owns. It's been from $11.55 this year all the way to $14.72. It's a relatively inexpensive stock, but sorry, folks, it's a relatively inexpensive stock. However, it is up almost 20 some odd percent just over the year, 25% or so, and it's paying you an 8% dividend. This is in the red oil portfolio. It's also in the balanced portfolio to a smaller extent. However, this is a stock I really like. I would wait for any pullback and look to buy it. I feel this stock goes to 24. So, and when does that occur? I think within the next 9 months. Let's take another one, a competitor or another stock just like it, not doing quite as well, but guess what? Paying around a 9.5% dividend is Energy Transfer. You've heard me talk about these stocks before. I like this stock as well. They are both pipelines. They are both, if you own the stock, you will get a K1, which means that you own, you will get a K1, which is something deductible on your income tax on a year-over-year basis, or a profit that you have to pay on. So keep that in mind if you have a personal non-custodial account. But I really do, where did my screen go? I really like this stock quite a bit. Another one that whatever happened, I'm sorry, folks, I'm running out of time anyway. But at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to point out is the market is in a pretty decent spot. Many of the portfolios have done very well. Some of our classic portfolios have definitely underperformed this year. But I take heart in the fact that I know that at the end of the year, the performance will definitely pick up a great deal. And I feel any risk that comes, which I still think exists through the third quarter going into September, in particular, the last month of the third quarter, could be mitigated by ownership of some stocks like this, the ones that I just pointed out. And since Randy came on today, we're going to have to do a little bit shorter amount of time. Let's go into the trivia, Aaron.
You got it. Thanks, Kelly. The chat has been oddly quiet, especially in light of all of the news that we've been dropping about updates and crowdfunding opportunities. So I just want to make sure that the chat is working, because we are about to get into the trivia question. So now is the time. If you have been listening passively for the past 30 minutes or so, stop what you're doing for a moment, because now is your chance to win our trivia prize by answering this question correctly. And if you don't already know, we updated the trivia prize to be an Amazon gift card, which is especially appropriate today, because if you're the winner, you could spend that on Amazon Prime Day right now, right?
Yeah.
Amazon Prime Day is still going. AI Circle happened to coincide right on top of it. And so you have your chance to win an Amazon gift card. Now, hopefully everyone, okay, Justice Gaines, thank you. Thank you so much. I believe he was a winner at one point for a different prize. All right, great. Thomas Love says hello. Awesome. Okay, so the trivia question for this evening, and Kelly, if you need to jump, I know you had a hard stop. If you need to jump, I can take it from here.
I already know the answer, everybody. So stay tuned for it, because those of you that follow the markets at all will know the answer. All the best, okay. Everybody. Take care. See you, Aaron. Bye, everybody. See you next time.
Good night, Kelly.
Thank you.
All righty. So, trivia question for tonight is on the screen now. Which ex-Fed chairman also later became the treasurer of the United States? First person to answer this question correctly and enter the answer in the chat is our winner for this evening. Now, how does this work? What is the prize? First of all, it is a $25 Amazon gift card. And how do you qualify for it? It's not enough that you just get the answer correct. You also have to show us that you are invested in at least one smartfolio. That's the other qualification requirement to actually receive the prize. Now, once you receive the prize, you have a opportunity to double it from 25 to 50. In other words, we'll give you another $25 if you post about how you won $25 on your favorite social media platform, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be, Twitter, or the new Threads platform if you're on that already, right? Whatever it may be, you can post about it, tag us in it, and we will double your winnings. We'll send you another $25 Amazon gift card for up to a grand total of 50. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a look at our submissions. And who is up first? Okay, the correct answer, first of all, is Janet Yellen. And according to my chat over here, Justice Gaines is our winner for this evening with Janet Yellen. Yes. So Kelly came up with this question. He thought it was very appropriate for everyone to know that, you know, sometimes that can happen. It's kind of rare. Doesn't always happen, but we also had this comment. Susan, you're so funny. You don't like her. You don't like Janet Yellen. That's that's funny as well. But thank you. Justice Gaines is our winner for this evening. So once again, Justice, congratulations. Your task now, especially if you want this gift card before Prime Day is over, is for you to email mailbag@iFlipInvest.com. As soon as I can get the chat overlay here. They changed my UI. And so, okay, here we go. Just email mailbag@iFlipInvest.com with a screenshot of your account. And we will send you that $25 gift card right away. And we will be in touch with you about sharing it on social for you to double down on that prize. Okay, that does it for our show this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like this content, please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you stay tuned for all of our live streams. We'll be back with you next week. Next Wednesday, 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, for our monthly mailbag show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you next week, and good night.